That quiet person in the corner who never speaks? They've already mapped out every power dynamic in the room, identified who's lying, and predicted how the evening will end. And they did it all without saying a word. The introvert who disappears from parties without saying goodbye? They're not rude. They're running on a battery system most people don't understand, and they know exactly when it hits zero. The person who takes 3 business days to respond to your text? They're not ignoring you. They're crafting a response with more thought than most people put into their yearly goals. For decades, the world has treated introversion like a disorder that needs fixing. A personality flaw? A social handicap. But recent research from Wellesley College reveals something the extroverted world has been missing. There are 4 distinct types of introverts, and each one possesses advantages that extroverts simply cannot replicate. Not weaknesses disguised as strengths. Actual cognitive advantages, strategic benefits, survival tools that evolution selected for because they worked. Your introvert type isn't a limitation, it's a specialized operating system. And for the next 10 minutes, we're decoding exactly what yours has been doing for you without your permission since the day you were born. Let's find out which type is running your life. Before we start, here's what you need to know. These 4 types come from peer-reviewed research by Dr. Jonathan Cheek, a psychology professor at Wellesley College. They're not personality quiz results. They're scientifically observed patterns in how introverts process energy, information, and social interaction. Most people are a combination of 2 or 3 types, and that's completely normal. What matters is understanding which pattern dominates your thinking, because that pattern has been giving you advantages in situations where other personality types fail. The 4 types form the acronym STAR: social, thinking, anxious, and restrained. And each one evolved to solve a specific survival problem that extroverts couldn't handle. You're not broken, you're not antisocial, you're not damaged. You're specialized. And specialization, even in any system, is power. Let's start with the most misunderstood type of all: social introverts, the strategic energy managers. Picture this. You're at a friend's birthday party. Music's playing, people are laughing, conversations are flowing. For the first hour, you're fully present, engaged, even enjoying yourself. Then something shifts. It's not that you're suddenly bored or upset. It's when you can feel your internal battery draining. Not slowly, rapidly. Like an old phone that goes from 30% to 5% in 3 minutes. And, with absolute certainty that if you don't leave in the next 10 minutes, you'll shut down completely, so you leave. No drama, no announcement. Just a smooth exit while everyone's distracted. And the moment you're alone, you feel your entire nervous system exhale. This is the social introvert. The type most people picture when they hear the word introvert. But here's what they get wrong. Social introverts aren't shy. They're not scared of people. They're not socially anxious. They're just operating on a completely different energy system than extroverts. While extroverts gain energy from social interaction, social introverts spend it. Every conversation is a withdrawal. Every group setting is a transaction. And they've learned through years of trial and error exactly how much they can spend before they're bankrupt. That energy awareness is a superpower no one talks about. Social introverts know their limits with precision. They don't overextend. They don't burn out trying to keep up with extroverted social schedules. They protect their energy like a resource because they understand it is one. This makes them incredibly reliable. When a social introvert commits to something, they've already calculated whether they have the energy for it. They don't flake because they overbook themselves trying to please everyone. They don't show up exhausted and checked out. They show up ready, or they don't show up at all. Social introverts also form deeper connections with smaller groups. Instead of collecting 500 shallow friendships, they invest in 5 deep ones. Those 5 people get the full version. The unfiltered thoughts, the 3 a.m. phone calls, the loyalty that doesn't waver when trends change. And here's the advantage extroverts never see. Social introverts recharge alone, which means they never need other people to regulate their emotions. They're not dependent on external validation to feel okay, yet they generate their own stability. But the cost is real. People think you're flaky when you cancel plans. They think you don't like them when you leave early. They interpret your energy management as rejection when really you're just surviving. Here's what social introverts need to do. Communicate your battery system. You don't owe anyone endless energy, but a simple, "I'm at my limit for today, but I'm really glad I came," prevents 90% of misunderstandings. People can't read your internal battery indicator. You have to show them. Thinking Introverts, the internal universe builders. Let me tell you about Maya. Maya's sitting in a business meeting. Her boss is presenting quarterly projections. Her coworkers are taking notes, nodding, and asking clarifying questions. Maya is staring at the window. Not because she's bored, because while her boss is talking about Q3 revenue, Maya's brain is constructing an entire alternate universe where corporate jobs don't exist, and everyone communicates through interpretive dance. She's designing the costumes. She's scoring the music. She's writing the origin story of how this society began. Someone asks, Maya, what do you think? And Maya blinks back into reality like someone waking up from a vivid dream, with absolutely no idea what the question was. This is the thinking introvert, the daydreamer, and the person whose inner world is so rich, so detailed, so engaging, that reality often feels like the interruption. Thinking introverts aren't avoiding the external world. They're just living in two worlds simultaneously, and the internal one is usually more interesting. Here's the advantage. Thinking introverts are creativity factories. Their constant introspection and mental wandering make them exceptional writers, artists, inventors, and strategic thinkers. While everyone else is focused on what is, thinking introverts are exploring what could be. They notice patterns no one else sees because they're always analyzing, always connecting dots, always asking, what if? Their mental simulations run constantly, testing scenarios, building frameworks, constructing meaning. Thinking introverts are also deeply self-aware. They spend so much time examining their own thoughts and feelings that they understand their emotional landscape better than most people understand their own neighborhoods. This makes them emotionally intelligent in ways that don't require social interaction to develop. They're comfortable with the silence because silence for them is never actually silent. It's full, rich, populated with ideas, memories, hypotheticals, and narratives that never stop generating. But thinking introverts struggle in environments that demand constant external focus, school systems that punish daydreaming, jobs that require an always-on presence, relationships with people who interpret thoughtfulness as distance. Someone asks, "Where did you go just now?" And the honest answer is, "I was redesigning the structure of human consciousness." But that sounds insane. So you just say, "Sorry, what?" And people think you're not listening, when really you're listening to 17 things at once, and only one of them is happening out loud. What thinking introverts need? Scheduled daydreaming time. It sounds ridiculous, but if you don't build space for your internal world, it will demand attention at inconvenient times. Give yourself 30 minutes a day to just think. Let your mind wander without guilt. Then, when you need to be present, you can actually show up. Anxious introverts. The social pattern. Analyzers. Question: what did you mean when you said talk later instead of talk soon? Follow-up question: does the fact that you ended your text with a period instead of an exclamation point mean you're upset? Final question: if I replay our entire conversation 17 times, will I finally figure out if I said something wrong? Welcome to the mind of the anxious introvert, where every social interaction is followed by a complete forensic analysis that would make crime scene investigators jealous. Anxious introverts don't just replay conversations, they remaster them. Director's cut, extended edition, with commentary track. They examine every word, every pause, every facial expression, searching for hidden meaning like archaeologists searching for artifacts. Then someone says, "Nice shirt," and the anxious introvert's brain opens 50 tabs. Was that sincere? Was that sarcasm? Do they actually hate this shirt? Should I never wear it again? Should I explain where I bought it? Did I already tell them where I bought it? Am I repeating myself? Do I repeat myself a lot? Do they think I'm annoying? This sounds exhausting. It is. But here's what no one tells you. This hypervigilance is actually a sophisticated threat detection system. Anxious introverts notice micro-expressions, tone shifts, energy changes, inconsistencies in stories. They pick up on social dynamics that everyone else misses because their nervous system is calibrated to detect danger at microscopic levels. This makes them exceptional at reading people. They know when someone's lying. They know when someone's uncomfortable. They know when tension is building in a group before it becomes visible. While everyone else is blindly walking into social landmines, anxious introverts saw them 3 moves ago. They're also deeply empathetic. Their constant self-examination makes them highly attuned to how their words and actions affect others. They care intensely about not causing harm. This makes them thoughtful friends, careful communicators, and people who actually think before they speak. In professional settings, anxious introverts are the ones who catch errors no one else notices. The ones who think through consequences before acting. The ones who ask, but what if we're wrong? When everyone else is charging forward on assumptions. But the cost is crushing. Every social interaction feels like a test you're not sure you passed. Every silence feels like evidence of failure. Every canceled plan feels like confirmation that people don't actually like you. And the rumination doesn't stop. It loops. That conversation from 3 weeks ago, still running. That awkward moment from 2018, playing on repeat. Here's what anxious introverts need to understand. Your threat detection system is working. It's not broken. It's just calibrated for a more dangerous environment than the one you're currently in. Your ancestors needed that level of vigilance to survive. You don't anymore. But your nervous system hasn't gotten the memo. So try this. After a social interaction, write down one thing that went well. Just one. Not to convince yourself everything was perfect, but to train your brain to notice safety alongside threat. Your pattern analyzer is excellent at finding problems. Teach it to find evidence that you're okay too. Real quick, I need to know something. Which introvert type are you so far? Drop a comment right now. Are you the social introvert who manages energy like a strategic resource? The thinking introvert who lives in two worlds at once? Or the anxious introvert whose brain runs a forensic analysis on every interaction? Just drop your type. And if you're a combination, tell me which two. Because most people are a mix, and I'm genuinely curious what patterns we'll see in this comment section. This is real-time data collection. Let's see what we discover. Restrained introverts, the deliberate operators. Here's a scenario. Your friend group decides spontaneously to go to a new restaurant, right now. Everyone's grabbing their keys, piling into cars, and already planning what they'll order. And you're standing there thinking, wait, I need to check the menu first, and read reviews, and confirm they have parking, and mentally prepare for a different environment than I planned for today. Everyone else is already out the door. You're still loading. This is the restrained introvert. Not slow, not boring, not scared, just operating on a different processing speed than the rest of the world. Restrained introverts don't do spontaneous well, not because they can't handle surprise, but because they think before they act. Always. It's not optional. It's how their brain is wired. While impulsive people dive first and think later, restrained introverts run simulations. They consider consequences. They mentally walk through scenarios. They don't say yes until they've calculated whether yes is the right answer. This makes them incredibly reliable decision makers. They don't make choices they'll regret tomorrow because they actually think about tomorrow before choosing. They don't commit to things they can't sustain. They don't say yes when they mean no just to avoid temporary discomfort. Restrained introverts are the people you want making decisions when the stakes are high. They don't panic. They don't rush. They don't let emotions override logic. They process deliberately and choose carefully. They're also masters of preparation. Because they don't like feeling caught off guard, they plan. They research. They anticipate obstacles. When everyone else is scrambling because something went wrong, restrained introverts already have a backup plan. In professional environments, they're the ones who spot flaws and rush decisions. The ones who ask, have we thought this through? When everyone's caught up in excitement. The ones who save companies from expensive mistakes by simply taking the time to think before acting. But the world is not built for deliberate operators. The world rewards speed, quick responses, immediate decisions. Think fast, move fast, decide now. And restrained introverts can't. Their brain refuses to skip the analysis phase, so they're constantly labeled as hesitant, indecisive, or overly cautious when really they're just being thorough. People get frustrated, just pick one. But restrained introverts can't just pick one. They need to evaluate all the options first. That's not a flaw in processing, that's careful processing. They also struggle with sudden changes. Their nervous system needs time to adjust. Springing surprises on a restrained introvert doesn't feel fun and spontaneous to them. It feels destabilizing. Here's what restrained introverts need. Advance notice. Not because they're rigid, but because they function better when they have time to mentally prepare. If you're a restrained introvert, start telling people, I'm happy to do that. I just need some time to think about it. You're not indecisive, you're deliberate. And in a world full of impulsive disasters, deliberation is a superpower. Here's the truth about introversion that nobody tells you. It's not a personality flaw waiting to be fixed. It's a survival strategy that worked so well, evolution kept it. Social introverts manage energy with precision that prevents burnout. Thinking introverts build internal universes that generate creativity and self-awareness. Anxious introverts detect threats and read people at levels extroverts can't access. Restrained introverts make careful decisions that prevent disasters. None of these are weaknesses. They're specialized tools. The world is built for extroverts. Loud wins, fast wins, outgoing wins. But sustainable doesn't always win loud. Deep doesn't always win fast. And thoughtful doesn't always win over outgoing. Your introvert type has been protecting you, serving you, and giving you advantages in situations where extroverted strategies would fail. You just haven't been taught to see them as advantages because the scoring system was written by people who don't think like you. Stop apologizing for needing to recharge alone. Stop feeling guilty for thinking before you speak. Stop pretending your careful energy management is a social failing. You're not broken. You're not antisocial. You're not missing some essential piece that would make you normal. You're an introvert, and that's not a deficit. It's a difference. A powerful, strategic, evolutionary difference. So, which type are you? Drop it in the comments. Tell me which introvert type you identify with most, and what advantage it's given you that extroverts don't have. If this changed how you see your introversion, subscribe. Because your personality type isn't a problem to solve. It's a system to understand. Thanks for watching, and remember, the world needs your type of quiet. It always has.